पॉलिसी बाजार पर 1 करोड़ रुपए का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस केवल 450 रुपए महीने से शुरू। वाव!
Our top story tonight, 4 cases of the BF.7 subvariant of Omicron, which is driving the huge COVID surge in China currently, have been detected in India. The cases were in Gujarat and Orissa. But in most cases, it seems the patients recovered and did quite well. For the moment, there are no mandatory COVID protocols in India. But joining us with the latest on all of that, including a high-level COVID review meeting that happened today, is NDTV's Tanushree Pandey. Tanushree, tell us exactly what happened. First, of course, the 4 cases that we're now hearing of the BF.7 variant. What more do we know about them? And of course, also the big takeaways from that COVID review meeting that was held today.
Absolutely, Ankita. In fact, government took cognizance of, the rising cases which are now being seen in other parts of the world. And unlike previous times, government said that they don't want to take a knee-jerk solution. That is why the government has not put any new curb in place. All they have asked the people to do is mask up. They are saying that we are advising people to mask up, especially in crowded places and especially senior citizens and the people with comorbidities. This has been always in place, but of course many states, looking the situation which was coming back to normalcy, many states relaxed the norms, but now it's up to the state whether they have to make masking mandatory again or not. As of now, it's absolutely optional. Nothing has been made mandatory. The status quo has been maintained, and central government has only asked to basically make, advise people to wear mask in crowded places. Also, most importantly, as you were, asking what about the symptoms of this BF.7 variant, which is the sublineage of the Omicron variant, which is now driving the COVID surge in China. The central government is saying that no need to panic. Our vaccines are very much working against it, because 3 out of the 4 patients who have been reported with that variant, at least 3, Ankita, fortunately enough, have recovered completely at home isolation. So that's a good thing, but all we have to do right now is mask up.
All right. Thanks very much indeed for that, Tanushree. The centre saying, while there's no cause for panic, mask up in crowded areas, the situation is going to be monitored week by week, and random sampling of international passengers for COVID-19 has already started at airports in the country from today. But the COVID surge in other parts of the world seems to have spurred rather a political battle between the BJP and the Congress. The Health Minister wrote a letter to Rahul Gandhi asking him to either ensure COVID norms or suspend his Bharat Jodo Yatra. The Congress hit back, saying the BJP is clearly worried by the impact of the Yatra.
कल राजस्थान के 3 MP ने मुझे पत्र लिखा था कि राजस्थान में भारत जोड़ो यात्रा में गए हुए कई लोगों को कोविड पॉजिटिव पाया गया है। राहुल जी को एक पत्र लिखा और एक गहलोत जी को पत्र लिखा, और मैंने कहा कि भाई मुझे ऐसा पत्र मिला है, उस यात्रा में भाग लिए हुए कई लोगों को कोविड पॉजिटिव पाया गया है।
Surge of COVID cases in other parts of the world has turned into a full-blown political war between the BJP and the Congress. The centre, in a letter, has asked Rahul Gandhi to ensure COVID protocol or suspend Bharat Jodo Yatra in national interest in the view of rising cases. Congress has hit back at the centre, saying the BJP is scared of Bharat Jodo's impact and where were the norms for Prime Minister's rallies.
तो बीजेपी खुद विचलित हो गई है, डिस्टर्ब हो गई है, और होना स्वाभाविक है। जो सफलता मिल रही है यात्रा को,
आपने ऐसी चिट्ठी नहीं लिखनी चाहिए। क्यों लिखा? मैं भारत सरकार का हेल्थ मिनिस्टर होने के नाते मेरा दायित्व है कि देश में कोविड ना फैले। हम खास लोगों को कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते, यही उसकी मानसिकता हो तो उसका तो मेरे पास कोई जवाब नहीं है।
After a high-level meeting in view of the alarming reports from China, the government has advised people to mask up in crowded places. States and union territories have also been directed to ramp up genome sequencing to track the strain of COVID. While no changes have been made in the status of international flights, there will be random testing of international passengers arriving in India. But no new curbs have been put in place for public gatherings or at tourist destinations. 4 cases of Omicron variant, which is now driving the surge of cases in China, the BF.7 variant of coronavirus, have already been reported in India so far. But the good news is at least 3 of those patients have fully recovered at home isolation. So no need to panic, but most definitely mask up, which the government has also been saying, as they have decided to not place any new curb in place. With camera person Sushil Joshi, I'm Tanushree Pandey for NDTV.
But China's COVID situation appears to be worsening rapidly, with more evidence emerging via social media of how health infrastructure is collapsing under the weight of rapidly multiplying COVID cases. All of this comes less than 15 days after the Chinese government dramatically reversed its hardline zero COVID policy after years of mass testing, isolation and COVID lockdowns. Right now, cases are doubling in hours.
COVID patients and dead bodies in the same space at this Beijing hospital in this 19-second video reportedly shot on Sunday and tweeted by Chinese origin human rights activist Jennifer Zheng. A Chinese social media influencer tweeted this video claiming it was posted to the Chinese microblogging site Weibo. It reportedly shows a crowd of COVID patients at a Beijing hospital ward on Monday. This social media video, reportedly from China's Hebei province, appears to show a mother and her babies down with fever, but stuck at home with no medicines and no ambulances available. Multiple social media videos from crematoriums across China, particularly capital Beijing, appear to show dozens of hearses queued outside each one of them.
So I'm very familiar with this old photo, old videos, and now all these ones. As far as I can say, I've never seen these new ones before.
The Chinese government has not reacted to social media reports of the country's COVID chaos and has only confirmed 7 deaths since COVID restrictions were lifted a fortnight ago. In the last 24 hours, officials have insisted the current variant in China is the less virulent Omicron.
一个中国原则是公认的国际关系准则，也是中欧关系的政治基础。欧洲议会作为欧盟的官方机构，理应遵守一个中国原则。中方坚决反对欧方同台湾进行任何形式的官方往来，敦促欧方切实恪守一个中国原则，在涉台问题上谨言慎行，避免干扰中欧关系大局。
But officials and global health experts outside China are worried about how the COVID-19 surge in the country will hurt the global economy. Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong arrived in Beijing early morning today for pre-scheduled trade talks and was greeted at the airport by officials in masks and airport staff in full PPE kits. This means no visible on-ground change in COVID protocol, despite the Chinese government claiming the COVID situation is normalizing. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Sonia Gandhi today hit out at the government for not allowing a discussion on the India-China border issue in Parliament, saying silence on matters of serious concern had become its defining feature. She also led a protest by opposition parties.
Former Congress President Sonia Gandhi leading the protest by opposition parties near the Gandhi statue in the Parliament complex, demanding a discussion on the clashes in Tawang.
We have been demanding a discussion on China. We're not asking for military secrets. What gives them the courage and the confidence to choose the time and place and enter Indian territory? If you are building massive infrastructure and if you are able to match the infrastructure of China, why are you not able to prevent the incursion?
2005 में जब मैं अपोजिशन में थे और चाइना बॉर्डर का इशू उठाया था, उस समय लीडर ऑफ द हाउस प्रणब मुखर्जी दादा ने मुझे बुलाया और प्रधानमंत्री जी उस समय मनमोहन सिंह जी थे, तो दोनों ने बोला कि चाइना बॉर्डर का जो इशू होता है वो बहुत सेंसिटिव होता है, इसलिए पार्लियामेंट में चर्चा नहीं करके उसको इंटरनली डील करना चाहिए.
Legislative business continued uninterrupted in both houses.
5.9% in March.
And Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman replied to the discussion on demand of grants in Rajya Sabha, defending the economic situation and the need for supplementary demand of grants.
But then came late February, the Russia-Ukraine war and the complete disruption in supply chains, particularly for food and energy, all of which has led to countries looking at ways in which they had to give a greater push towards growth and recovery. And therefore, today the situation is we have come up with a supplementary demand for grants, which are essentially for ensuring that there's food security. There's also enough to be given for fertilizers, which is so critical for our farmers. And multiple times both the IMF and the World Bank have said in several occasions, India is the brightest spot in the global economy and is an island of hope for global growth.
Home Minister Amit Shah replied on the discussion on drug menace and listed the steps taken by the government in dealing with the problem.
के व्यापार से टेररिज्म का वित्त पोषण मान्यवर हमने एक संयुक्त समन्वय समिति भी बनाई है और केंद्रीय स्तर पर इसकी ढेर सारी बैठक भी की है.
With just 2 more days left in this winter session, amid opposition protests over Tawang clashes, government has managed to complete its business listed so far. With camera person Prem Singh, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
K. Kavita, the daughter of Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and 2 others gave 100 crores to the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi to get benefits from the new liquor policy is the big allegation from the Enforcement Directorate. The Bharat Rashtra Samiti leader has responded strongly, saying irrespective of how many times a lie is repeated, it does not become the truth.
After the name of K. Kavita, daughter of Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao, came up multiple times in a charge sheet filed by the Enforcement Directorate investigating the Delhi liquor scam, the BRS legislator tweeted, "The accusations on me are completely bogus and false. Only time will prove my sincerity." It's a political vendetta of BJP as they fear BRS party chief CM KCRG's expose on their anti-farmer and pro-capitalist policies. The charge sheet, based on the statement of accused Hyderabad businessman Arun Ramachandra Pillai and others, alleges that Kavita and YSRCP MP Magunta Srinivaslu Reddy indirectly held 65% stake in Indo Spirits, a liquor firm owned by Sameer Mahendru that got wholesale license. Kavita is said to have met with Sameer Mahendru in Delhi and in Hyderabad and also over FaceTime facilitated by Arun Pillai. Kavita, Magunta Srinivaslu Reddy and Sharath Reddy were said to be part of what was called a South Group that allegedly paid 100 crore rupees as kickback, reportedly to be passed on to AAP leaders through Vijay Nair, also accused and arrested in the case. The South Group reportedly hoped to benefit from cartelization of wholesalers and retailers. A CBI team had recorded Kavita's statement in Hyderabad on December 11 after her name came up in a remand report of one of the accused.
MLC Kavita has come to meet the Chief Minister at his official residence, even though KCR has so far not commented publicly on his daughter facing the heat, though he has been alleging that central agencies are being misused against opposition leaders. This at a time when the BRS is planning to expand its footprint to at least 7 states within this month. In Hyderabad, with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.
Meanwhile, the RBI today issued a warning saying adverse climate can be an increasing risk when it comes to food prices. Adverse climate events are increasingly showing an upside risk to food prices. Inflation is likely to be 6.7% in 2022-23 and 6.6% in October and December. The RBI also red flagged the prices of cereals, spices and milk and said it was continuing with monetary policy tightening measures, and also talked about how global demand was weakening. Nepal's Supreme Court has ordered the release of Charles Sobhraj, the notorious serial killer who was responsible for a string of murders across Asia in the 1970s. Nepal's Supreme Court has ruled that the 78-year-old Sobhraj should be freed on health grounds. He has been in Kathmandu's central jail since 2003 for the murder of 2 North American tourists. The serial killer's life and crimes were recently documented in the Netflix series The Serpent. He has been linked to more than 20 killings. His victims were strangled, beaten or burnt. He often used the passports of his male victims to travel on to his next destination. Well, let's get you the latest now from Afghanistan, where women university students across the country are shocked and in utter disbelief after they were barred by the Taliban from studying. In Kabul, home to the country's largest universities, students gathered outside campuses dressed in black cloaks and tight headscarves. There has been already global condemnation of the Taliban's latest diktat. The US has warned of severe consequences.
In the latest step in its brutal clampdown on the rights and freedoms of Afghan women, the Taliban government has suspended university education for all female students in Afghanistan. This indefinite ban comes less than 3 months after thousands of girls and women sat university entrance exams across the country, with many aspiring to choose engineering and medicine as future careers. Most Afghan teenage girls have already been banned from secondary school education, severely limiting university intake. The United States has warned the Taliban would be held to account.
Education is an internationally recognized human right, and it is essential to Afghanistan's economic growth and its stability. This unacceptable stance will have significant consequences for the Taliban and will further alienate the Taliban from the international community and deny them the legitimacy they desire.
Let me reiterate that operation of peoples, including women, is not embedded in Afghan culture, nor it is a tenet of Islam. It is a component of the Taliban's extremist ideology, and it must not be allowed to continue.
India too, on Tuesday, had raised concerns over the erosion of human rights as well as the lack of progress on inclusive governance in Afghanistan. After seizing power in Afghanistan last year, the Taliban attempted to project a more moderate image to gain international support. But while it has made numerous promises to the international community that it would protect the rights of women and girls, the Taliban has been doing the opposite, systematically clamping down on their rights and freedoms. This is Parmeshwar Bava for NDTV.
Billionaire Elon Musk has said he'll step down as chief executive of Twitter once he finds a replacement, but wants to still run some key divisions of the social media platform. He tweeted saying, "I will resign as CEO as soon as I find someone foolish enough to take on the job."
Is Elon Musk's short-lived Twitter reign about to end? The SpaceX billionaire and Twitter CEO has announced that he will step down as chief executive of Twitter as soon as he finds a replacement. Making the announcement via a tweet, Musk tweeted, "I will resign as CEO as soon as I find someone foolish enough to take the job. After that, I will just run the software and servers team." The announcement follows Elon Musk's Twitter poll that voted in favor of Musk resigning. His Vox Populi approach to Twitter diplomacy backfired as 57.5% of the 175 million votes received asked for Musk to step down. Elon Musk concluded his $44 billion Twitter acquisition in October. Since then, he has introduced a range of rushed policies that have undermined stock prices of not just Twitter, but also his other company, Tesla. Tesla shares are trading at a 52-week low and are down by 59% since Musk announced his plans to acquire Twitter in April. Till he took over Twitter, Elon Musk was seen as an icon for driving innovation and creating new age businesses, especially with his SpaceX and EV firms. But now Elon Musk's roller coaster time as Twitter CEO has shown that running a social media platform is far, far tougher than rocket science. Rubina Mongia, NDTV.